I'm getting all excited. It makes me want it. I didn't even know this was going to be a dance track when I looked at it. Kia ora and welcome. My name's Zoe Stevie and I'm your vocal coach for today. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Rebecca Black with her cover of Addison Rae's Fame is a Gun. Ooh, I've never heard this song before, and I have not heard Rebecca Black sing in many, many moons, and I'm really, really excited to see what she's up to with her vocal technique. Oh, before I forget, if you would like to improve your vocal technique, then you can check out my 3 free-day Find Your Chest Voice Challenge in the description below. Wow. We're going to have a look at that. It's just professional opinion. Wow. I cannot say enough how difficult it is to work with a looping station. That's what she's doing there. She's singing each of those lines in. That is like a lot of practice. Let's just watch that again. She's using a slightly falsetto sound with a little bit of breath coming through there. Okay, you can see there, there's the larynx has gone down. The larynx needs to move with the pitch. So she needs to take the larynx down there in order to get, like, those are really low notes. And you can hear, oh my gosh. I'm getting all excited. That is a falsetto voice quality. So these are my little arytenoids. If you didn't already know, the arytenoids rock back and the vocal folds actually become stiff to create that hooty sort of sound. Hoo. Now it seems like there is an increase in the amount of air that you're shoving through the vocal folds, but actually it's only due to the fact that the vocal folds are open and stiff that we hear that increase of air. So it's not about like pushing a bunch of it. This entire introduction is a vocal exercise in itself, and I fear that I might just take it, Rebecca Black. This is fantastic to work on lowered larynx, then we've got a mid larynx position, and then we've got a high larynx. Oh my goodness me, I need to write that down after this video, because what you're doing there is you're taking falsetto from the lower range all the way to the topper range. And you would have noticed the difference in the larynx position. And did you notice the difference in that mouth position there? As she went higher, the lips closed slightly, and that helps us to just get a little bit more back pressure for those really high notes. So I want you to think about it being quite hooty and a little bit light. We're not actually going for volume, although it sounds a little bit higher when we sing higher in the, sounds louder when we sing higher in the range. Know this is going to be a dance track when I looked at it. I am a sucker for a dance track. Firstly, like, pitching on falsetto this high in the range. Obviously, she's like the ultimate professional singer, but this is an excellent exercise to work on those really high breathy sounds. Or you'll notice these really short breaths. Let's just go back on that. I want you to watch what she's doing with her shoulders. She's breathing quite high. High larynx, we've got the tongue also engaged in the sound, and that's why we hear an audible breath when she's breathing in. But you can see that she's breathing in quite high, and that's because the phrases are really, really short. We don't need to tank up on all this air. So we go, and now it was enough. I always wanted more. So it's tricky to tell. It's tricky to tell if that really goes into a thicker vocal fold quality or if she goes into sort of like a lighter mix. To be honest, it doesn't really matter. But we are no longer in falsetto. I always wanted more, but I did. We got a high larynx position, and there's almost like a little bit of that tension still staying in the root of the tongue, and that's how we're getting that sort of like bright sound there, which she had when she was singing in the falsetto, and she's just kept it now as she's gone into that slightly more closed vocal fold quality. Again, I'm not making fun of Rebecca. Like, this is with the utmost respect, and like she's fantastic. I love her. Like, honestly, was obsessed. Friday, God, still one of my favorite songs, I have to admit, on a Friday. But this is just the way that it sounds when I'm creating these sounds for you. So I always wanted more. We had that glottal onset going on there that helped. Can you almost hear that the sound gets a little bit louder? The glottal onset is going to help us to get into more of that chest voice quality. I actually have a lesson for that down in the description below. It's my 3-day Find Your Chest Voice challenge. I go like really in depth into glottal onsets so that you can help to like access this lower chest voice register. Let's just watch that again. You see that slide? Now it wasn't a we've got a slightly wider mouth position for than when she goes, I always wanted more. I mean, I'm exaggerating, yeah, Zoe, but she brings the lips slightly further forward. Now that lift in the cheeks is not always super necessary, but that can help us because there's like a whole bunch of muscles in here that connect sort of inside our faces to the soft palate, which helps it raise, and that helps us with our pitching, especially higher in the range, and stabilize the sound as well. I always wanted more. I always wanted more. She literally just went through like the whole rainbow of vocal colors there. So we're going to go back on that. Oh my God. But you saw the tongue kind of almost spread out in that. And that kind of signaled to me that there was a little bit more tension going on in the tongue, which is what we need if we're going to go higher in the range. Please, actually, let me just come a little bit closer. It is not always about relaxing your tongue, okay? In some circumstances, we might want to sing it to relax their tongue. I actually had that today in a lesson. A student was going, and bringing their tongue back like a pirate really far in their mouth. So I got them to bring their tongue forward and almost relax their tongue on their bottom lip to stop the pulling back of the tongue. But what Rebecca's doing there is exactly what we want to do when we're going higher in the range. We want to engage more of the tongue in order to stabilize the sound. Let's just go back on that. We'll have a little look at all these beautiful qualities.
I always
obviously never heard the song, so I'm going to really like listen to the original because I'm very curious how this has changed. Firstly, because she went from that breathy voice quality into love is blind, and we didn't hear like that click in the passaggio like you just heard in mine there. That's telling me that she wasn't in falsetto when she was higher up there. Love is blind. When we're not in falsetto, we won't hear that passaggio clicking in unless we like really give it a bit of oomph in that passaggio area in order to go back down into a thicker vocal fold. Oh my God. Wow. This is just like a jungle gym of all the sorts of vocal exercises. So like, please don't think like as a beginner, you just like sing this song and be like as versatile as Rebecca Black. Like she's had a really long career. She's been practicing this for a very long time. She's a very accomplished singer. So, you know, these coordinations are very, very difficult. What you could do is, you know, try and sing it in like a bit of a breathy quality the whole time, but she's creating like, wow, this is like a masterpiece in terms of like the colors. Watch what she's doing when she's going further down the range, because she's keeping the falsetto as she's going lower.
Don't ask too many questions, that is my one suggestion. And when you shame me, it makes me want it more.
So, and when you shame me, it always wanted more. So we had that. She took the falsetto further down in the range. And then what she always wanted more. And I think there's a little bit of like tongue and constrictor tension going on there in order to keep, like to kind of beef up that sound without going, always wanted more, which would be to like flip into a thicker vocal fold. It's quite common with people who go lower in the range who stay in falsetto. That's like, unfortunately, like still very widely used classical technique, which is, to be honest, not very healthy classical vocal technique. You end up sounding really woofy, but it works in this situation and in like contemporary music because it's a color choice that's being made. But you can't get loud on that sound.
You shame me, it makes me want it more. It makes me want it more. Baby's a gun and avoid it blind. Crush a bird, girl, baby, swallow it dry. You got it from both, see it eye. High quality, so the better is life. Love is a drug that I can't deny. I'm your dream girl, but you're not my type. You got it from both, see it eye. High quality, so the better is life.
She's keeping the sound quite bright throughout. Da 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 da, love is blind. So rather than going ba da da da, love is blind, rather than allowing the larynx to drop with the pitch. I mean, that's just like an artistic decision. But that is also a great way to keep that whole setup in the same position, like what's going on here in the larynx. Keep the setup the same for the you know, that higher section that she sings as well. So, you know, it's 6 of one, half a dozen the other, really. But you know, singer's choice, really.
Nothing makes me feel as good as being loved by you. Nothing makes
Let's just go back on that because that's really interesting. It almost sounds like a little bit nasal. Again, no shade on Rebecca. I get this a lot in singing lessons where singers say like, oh, but you know, I'm worried it sounds nasal, but we've done the exercises of like blocking the nose and double checking the soft palate. It's not nasal. So this could be one of the reasons why it would be nasal. Let's just go watch this again.
me feel as good as being loved by you.
So we got that being loved by you. That could be firstly like a vowel thing, because we've got the air going into, well, it's like a vowel and a consonant thing. Being, rather than going being and keeping the soft palate raised. That could be that. Could also be that one of the constrictor muscles is kind of joining in the party. Being love, because that is one, that's what we're hearing with the brighter timbre going on. So timbre is like the color of the voice. And then also, I don't want to like overcomplicate things. Trying to like not overcomplicate it for you. So firstly, we can like use those constrictor muscles in order to keep that brighter timbre, but it also could be one of the reasons why it sounds a little bit nasal. Again, like no shade. She's incredible, yeah?
Nothing makes me feel as good as being loved by
Oh my God. So we thought, nothing. We saw a widening of the tongue there. Now, you don't necessarily have to widen the tongue, okay? But what we see there is we do see more of an engagement within the tongue. It is higher in the mouth. Now, that doesn't necessarily work for everybody. We need to learn the different tongue positions according to how long your tongue is, how wide your tongue is, and what you are actually trying to sing, what your vocal range is. There's a whole bunch of things. So if you are looking to improve your upper register, I'm talking too fast. If you are looking to improve your higher, be it head voice or your belt, or even taking your chest voice higher in the range, a lot of this has to do with the tongue, and it needs to be looked at on a one-to-one basis. So you can apply for one-to-one singing lessons in the description below, because my online singing school, the Vocal Academy, is accepting new students for our 2026 cohort. I would love to help you with this, because this, like the tongue work that we've been doing to strengthen the muscles, it's been mind-blowing for what it's been doing for the singers inside the academy. So we can hear, love is, oh wait, it was a fame is a gun. I mean, oh my God, Zoe, boof. She's singing the words of the name of the song. Yeah, I didn't realize that. It's really hot here today, okay? I'm like struggling in this very, very warm room. So we've got a fame is a gun. We've definitely got a mixed voice quality. We've got thicker vocal folds taken further up in the range. And we've got that brightening going on through that raised larynx. Fame is a gun. It's keeping that sort of like, this sort of like fun vibe as well to the song. Taste. You almost see that she's sort of like bringing the tongue quite far forward in the mouth. Now, please, this doesn't apply to everyone, okay? Just because Rebecca Black is doing that doesn't mean to say that you need to do that as well when you are singing the song. That could be due to her tongue size, okay? Give it a go. See if it helps. If it doesn't help, then that's not a problem. If it feels really weird, then don't do it. Yeah, it's not like a must. Love is a gun. It's like coming forward. That's signaling. Again, I got no idea how big her tongue is, okay? Because I'm like not her singing teacher, but that would signal like a slightly larger tongue root with that tongue. That's what mine does all the time. Actually, now that I think about it, that could also be because she's raised the larynx. Love is a gun. And it's kind of adding to that sort of like relaxed feeling that she's trying to go for in the articulation as well. But like, sort of, again, not making fun of her. This sort of, to be honest, I think of Australians when I think of this. Love is a gun. That kind of relaxed articulation that she's going for, that can be achieved by bringing the tongue sort of like almost forward in your mouth, like you've been to the dentist. Oh my God. Look at her. Look at her little face. And she was just like, I thought that was a really good take. Yeah. And you should be proud of yourself. Rebecca Black, that was fucking awesome. Absolutely love it. So we saw her kind of crunching there. I got a taste of the glamorous life. You don't have to do that when you're singing high. That's, look, she could sing this, I'm fairly certain, running on a treadmill. She probably singing that breathy would be quite difficult on a treadmill, but I won't put it past her because she's a well-trained singer. But what we're doing there is we're kind of like making it seem more effortful. And also we're wanting a lot of thyroid tilt. I got a taste of the glamorous life to make it sound more sung when we're high up there in the range. So the thyroid tilt is where the larynx lives. The thyroid is part of the larynx, is where the vocal folds live here. And when we tilt it forward, it makes the sound more sung. Wow. Oh, I'm so excited to look at more Rebecca Black, especially if she's doing more dance stuff. Oh, just get out there and practice. It just makes me want to go and practice right now. But if you are looking to improve your vocal technique in 2026, if you just want to learn how to sing better, I have the blueprint for you. We have the plan for you inside the Vocal Academy. Because just like I'm talking about in this video, we show you literally like step by step exactly how to make these sounds, exactly where to place your tongue. How are you going to get those vowels? What are you going to do to sing higher and louder? And we're going to show you exactly how to do it, how to practice it, and we're going to give you a plan so at home you know if you are doing it right. I hear this all the time from students and they're just like, how do I do it right? Like, how do I know that I'm doing it properly at home? We are going to show you exactly how inside my online singing school. You can apply down in the description below. Just remember, anyone can learn to sing. That's what we're here for. It's just a set of muscles and I'm here to help you. To show you how to do it. I'm getting totally excited. We haven't looked at Rebecca Black here on the channel before, so I'm going to put up something very similar in terms of the vocal technique up here for you to keep enjoying. Have an awesome rest of your day and happy singing. Oh, I'm full of energy now. Ka kite anō.